We want to continue our conversation about how the important role that parents can play in their children's education and how they really are equal partners in helping their children succeed. And for that, I've been joined today by Bethany Smith. She's a family development specialist at Carson Valley Children's Aid, where she is involved with providing child development information and activities for families with children from ages 0 to 5 through home visiting. And she also leads our parent education program at the Norristown Family Center there at Carson Valley Children's Aid. And here I have Marty Eggleston. He is the director of the fatherhood program at CADCOM, which is Montgomery County's Community Action Agency. Thank you both for joining us. Both of our panelists work in strengthening families, and that can help them to see that they are the thread always present in their children's education. Marty, could you tell us a little bit about the fatherhood program?
Yeah, and thanks for having me today, Virginia. One of the keys to the fatherhood program is empowering and strengthening men who are or should be the leaders in their families, and to be an example for their children. You know, we're our child's first educator, so it's important for us to show our children by example the path that they can follow.
Okay, and Bethany, then can you also talk a little bit about how the Norristown Family Center helps parents to get more involved in all aspects of their children's education?
Sure. We have at the Norristown Family Center, which is part of Carson Valley Children's Aid, a program called Parents as Teachers, where we are providing instructions to parents so that parents understand that they are their child's first and most influential teacher. And so we work with parents that have children ages 0 to 5, and we do personal home visits where we go in and we bring information to parents that will help them to aid and encourage the child's development.
Okay, and I think you bring more than just information, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's activities.
We actually do actual activities that we show to the parents, again, that would encourage the child's development. We bring in, each week that we visit, we bring in parent handouts, which provides information about whatever the child's development is. Our program is based on each level of development along with the actual child's age. So we go from month to month, and that curriculum that we use is called the Born to Learn curriculum.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
So it starts very early. I guess it starts right away.
It starts before birth.
So obviously when children are 0, 1, and 2, they're not maybe ready to learn their letters and numbers and colors, but there are a lot of other ways that parents can help their children to learn, and how does that happen?
It's really all about paying attention and observing the child's development. So if we are, helping a parent understand what's next in terms of what the milestone is for their child, they're more eager to kind of see it through and not sort of just allow it to, slowly take place. So we give them instructions on paying attention to the child, actually what the child is going to be going through each stage of their development.
Okay. What might be an example of a developmental stage that a parent isn't really aware of until somebody really points it out to them and helps them?
I think one of the things that we do a lot when we're talking about a child from 1 month, 2 month, 3 month is just paying attention to the different cries of a child. Mm-hmm. And not, some of us think that, when a child cries, they just want to be fed or they need to be changed. But just paying attention to your child's cry will help you kind of understand what that child needs. Maybe the child just needs to be picked up or cuddled, or maybe the child needs to learn to self-soothe itself. So we kind of help parents understand that it's okay to let the child cry, and at times it's not.
Okay, I'm going to come back. I have a few more questions, but Marty, back to the fatherhood program. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the components of the program and how it works?
Oh, absolutely. Through the vision of our executive director, Rick Beaton, CADCOM has initiated this fatherhood program that offers various components to the men in the community, and those components are specific to men. Mm-hmm. As you know, we as men don't often reach out and ask for help or look for help when we need it. Oftentimes we try to remedy our own issues alone, and we're often unsuccessful with that. We as men function better kind of in groups, and we problem solve well in groups. And so some of those issues we talk about are understanding, as Bethany said, our child's development, dealing with issues, internal issues that men have, whether they be anger issues or emotional issues, developing strong relationships with our family, friends, and our community. Additionally, understanding ourselves as a man and our values, and also understanding the importance of our position in the life of our child.
Okay. It's interesting you say that men function better in groups, but I think it can be hard to get men involved in groups. How do you take that step to get them to recognize that and to actually attend a group?
Yeah, that's kind of is the key. Interestingly enough, we started our fatherhood initiative at CADCOM in February of 2010, and we had 0 participants. And from February 2010 to November, we've had over 170 plus men come through our doors. Mm-hmm. And the first month or so was rather slow, but once word got out in that group again, the men just started pouring in, understanding that there was an avenue that they could take to assist them in moving forward in their own lives.
How is a father's role in raising and educating a child different than a mother's role?
Well, the difference is that men and women parent differently. Mm-hmm. That's why there's a mom and a dad. Mm-hmm. Men and women parent differently in that I like to say that we parent by proximity. If you notice when children are at play or children are active in outside or any activity that they're doing, generally it's mom who's closer and mom who's saying, be careful, slow down. And dad is just maybe another few feet away saying, that's great, go faster, speed it up. And so there are different things that are unique to each parent. Fathers do play a very strong role, and so we have to understand that within ourselves. And so that's what the program stands for, just trying to open the eyes of the men and understand how important it is for them to participate in their uniqueness. We parent through play. We kind of roughhouse with our kids a little bit. We wrestle with them, and we teach physical, tangible activities. And we also lead by example. Oftentimes you'll see your children mimicking you. And so I tell the men in our program very often that we have to be very cautious and open and understanding that we have an audience, and that audience is our children. So even though we may not think we're teaching, just our everyday actions alone are teaching mechanisms for our children. So we can start there and then move into actually sitting down and formally educating our kids.
I know there's often a concern when boys are younger that they're too rough or that they're too violent. Is that something your curriculum addresses to help fathers to, help kids work through that and find other options for?
It does. I think that, on a scale, you have moms and dads. The mothers are kind of at the beginning and the cautious end of the scale, and the fathers regulate at the other end how far is too far for a child, especially young boys. And without that father in the position to regulate, we do have oftentimes some problems with our young boys in the community who just don't understand how far is too far. And I think that really that's the job of dad, to get young boys especially an understanding of how far you can go before something fun turns into something dangerous.
That's really